Hello, everybody. Welcome to Saturday night MindsetUT leadership call. I'm super excited to share this information with you guys today. I won't take too much of your time. I am going to start with something that we spoke about last week, okay? And that was the 11 laws, okay? The first law was the law of thinking. And what's the point of the law of thinking, you guys? Because when all of our thoughts come into existence. So what I'm going to do today is I'm going to start off with my introduction, but I'm also going to go into Born Rich Series 1 for the people who have been following the series that we have been focused on. We are on Series 2, but for the people watching this, the new people or some of our teammates watching this, I'm going to start you guys with Series 1. We're going to focus 10 minutes solely on this personal development course, okay? And then we'll come back and I'm going to finish off with the different laws and certain notes that you can take, that you can run with for this weekend and apply for our trading week and moving forward into your mindset. So I'm going to go ahead and share my screen, you guys. I'm going to turn this down a little bit. And I'm going to be taking notes too, because everything that we teach you guys, we're doing ourselves, okay? And this call is here to hold everybody accountable, including myself, because if I don't get better, I can't help you guys get better, okay? So we're all in this together, okay? So go ahead and grab an index card, a pen, or a notebook, whatever you're going to put your information in. And then we're going to go ahead and watch this video together, okay? I'm going to go ahead and share my screen, you guys, and then we'll come back here, and then we'll go ahead and finish off. I'm going to do about 10 minutes or so, okay? And we're going to do Born Rich. You Were Born Rich Part 1. Looks like you guys can still see me at school.
Chance to dream a vision that your heart has always. Pass the torch, on to another. Carry the flame as far as you can. Pass the torch, sister to brother. The journey is yours, the journey is mine. A journey to understand. Holding on to the key, ready to unlock your destiny. World famous athletes, astronauts, international personalities who have really made a difference in our world. You and I, we all started out exactly the same, just like that beautiful little baby that you just saw. We were born rich. Rich in potential. We have deep reservoirs of talent and ability within us. You're about to embark on one of the most exciting journeys you could possibly get involved with. This program, You Were Born Rich, is the most effective personal development program in the world today. It's been designed specifically to help you realize all of your dreams, live the life that you really want to live.
I'm going to pause it real quick, and the reason why I'm going to do that, and Isaiah has coached me to do that as well, to stop and go rather than listen to the whole entire thing, because you actually want to create cells of recognition and a thought community in your brain to unlock this portion of your mindset to then have that pattern stick. Now, that's the hardest part, right? Because we have to have our consistency. Now, nobody's perfect, but we can strive to be as great as we can. So I suggest that every single person doing this, give yourself at least 30 days, okay? I know right now for the leaders, we have a 90-day challenge. So for the leaders that are doing that, this is part of that 90-day challenge, okay? So we're going to go through 10 to 15 minutes, okay? Take notes, and then we'll come back. I'm going to give you the rest of the notes. I also wanted to read one page to you guys from The Science of Getting Rich. And then if you guys have any questions, feel free to reach out to us after this video, okay? So I'll go ahead and continue to play it.
We're going to invite you into a live seminar so that you can experience the excitement, the high energy of actually being there. We have special guest Paul Hutsey on the program. You'll be meeting other personalities, people just like you and I, who have been involved in this program, and it's made a tremendous difference in their life. Consider this. Just like that baby, when you and I were born, we were natural born risk takers. We had no we were free to step out and do everything we wanted to do. Now, some of the people that you are going to see interviewed have attended this seminar, some of them a number of times, most of them at least twice. The real benefit of having this seminar on the video is that you can stop the tape at any time and go back and play it over again. You see, reading and memorizing or just watching this really is not going to do you any good. You must understand and apply the ideas. Now, the exercise book, your action planner, that's in your program is vitally important. It's probably one of the most important elements in your entire Born Rich program. It's vitally important that as I suggest you get involved in an exercise, you take it and you really get involved. Stop the tape. Think of where you are. Think of where you want to go. And complete the exercise. Don't put it off. Literally, wear this book out. Now, what I'd like you to do is come with me. Mentally prepare yourself as we go into a live seminar. There's a seat saved just for you.
You are about to embark on the most exciting journey of your life. Bob Proctor Seminars proudly presents You Were Born Rich, the most dynamic personal development program of its kind in the world. Ladies and gentlemen,
Our seminar here today, and we've got a special guest who is sitting at home. And we're inviting that person into our seminar, and they're going to experience everything you're going to experience. I know many of you have been through our seminars before. Some of you have never been through our seminars. But I think you'll find if you keep your mind wide open, just sit back and relax, you're going to find it a pretty interesting experience. I've often mentioned that we never give anybody a brain hernia with the information we use. It's all very simple, and it's very, very effective. You know, I've spent a long time studying the subject of why we do what we do and why we don't do some of the things that we'd really like to do. And I've come to the conclusion that the two main elements in a successful, fulfilled life is motivation and education. And if we get a proper balance of motivation and education, we're going to find that we're going to be led into some very wise decisions that'll inspire us into some intelligent action, and we will live a very, very fulfilled life. What I would like to suggest you do is flip to page 2 in your action planner. Take your action planner and turn to page 2. You know, some time ago, John Canary gave me a little piece of literature about getting out of the comfort zone that was written by Bob Briggs in southern Florida. And there's some excellent information in here. Many of us are pretty comfortable in our life. We've got a reasonably good income. The mortgage is paid. There's food in the fridge. We've got a nice warm bed to sleep in. And everything seems to be floating along just fine. And you know, a person in that position could very easily think, why would I want to do anything to change this? Well, we have found that if your life is not going in one direction, it absolutely, by law, must be moving in another direction. And Riggs is talking about that here. He said many of us have established a comfort zone in our lives. We're just coasting along, taking the line of least resistance, just getting by. Now, he said this is a very common and understandable attitude. We've all worked hard to get to where we are, and it may seem a very good place to be. The problem with this is that once we stop reaching, stretching, seeking, and risking, we actually stop growing.
I'm going to pause this for a moment so we can all write this down, okay? Because this is a pretty important key here to have as far as understanding why we're doing what we're doing, okay? Because if we're not growing progressively, then we're degressing, and that's not going to help anybody, especially yourself, in whatever it is that you want to do for your life, okay? So I'm going to go ahead and write that down. You guys write that down, and I'm going to continue playing it, okay? So the comfort zone. Let's talk about the comfort zone. Once we stop, think about too, guys, when you stopped striving for more. A lot of people school, stopped reading at the age of 7th grade. And that was a hindrance for a lot of people. I know for myself, I had so much college, so it was a lot of unconditioning to recondition. I'm still continuing to do that because it's so difficult for me. So, and I'm sharing that with you guys. So if somebody else is in that, same scenario, we have old patterns that we have to drive out. So getting out of the comfort zone is a big deal. We have old patterns that are not allowing us to understand why we do what we're doing. So that's why it's good to have these videos and stop to talk about it, to reflect on it, to continue so that we can grow. So once we stop reaching and stretching, seeking and risking, we actually stop growing. So we want to continue to grow. So if there's something that is holding you back, like a bad pattern, I know for me, sleeping was a pattern that, and sometimes I still have some days that I'm not perfect, but I'm going to continue to get better at that because I know that conditioning myself every single day is going to get me to where I need to be. So taking out the bad habits and replacing good habits. So what is the bad habit for you guys? It may not be the sleeping one, right? Or maybe it is. What can we do to be more effective in our day so that we're not getting tired? Talk to maybe less people or talk to people more effectively. Whatever the case may be, okay? Reading in the morning as well, meditating. Okay, everybody has a different life. Obviously, I'm living my life. Everybody's living their life. But what can we do to become more effective in our habits? I'll go ahead and finish.
Now, Riggs goes on to say that the comfort zone frame of mind is settling for what we are today. That may be fine today, but without continued growth, and I believe this is the key line coming up, we are now all we are ever going to be.
This is also key too. Right now, in this current moment, you are all that you're ever going to be. So what can we do to become more today for our future self tomorrow? That is what working on a business, becoming more creative in your ideas, taking the time to actually sit down and say, you know what, let me write down 10 ideas, and one idea is gonna, by law, will come to fruition because you actually put the energy into it and started working towards it. So think about this, you guys. The computer that I'm on right now, right? It was a thought. The call that I had before I got on here was a thought. And now I'm sharing it with you guys, but I have to take myself out of my comfort zone to actually put myself in a position to be comfortable enough to share that with you guys so that you can do the same for somebody else. Okay? That's where in the beginning of the song, Pass the Torch. I'm passing the torch to you guys and I'm showing you this is what, and I'm not changing my approach, but I'm shifting the approach as far as like pause and go. And the reason why is because if you don't understand right now, without continued growth, we are all we are ever going to be. If we don't understand that now, how can we move to the next thing? So that's why I'm pausing it and going, I'm going to give you guys a few more minutes and then I'm going to share a couple more laws with you guys to jot down, and then we're going to elaborate that throughout the week, okay? And then again, if anybody has any questions, feel free to reach out, okay? I'm going to go ahead and continue to play this.
Now, for me, that would be a fairly disturbing thought. He went on to say, if you're in a comfort zone, beware. The danger of a comfort zone is that it doesn't hurt and it might even feel good. Many take that to mean it's a good place to be, but it's not. A comfort zone may be what is holding you back from real growth, real accomplishment, and your potentially exciting and rewarding future. Now, I've mentioned if we're not going in one direction, we must by law be going in another direction. You're either creating or you're disintegrating. Whenever we hear a person say, I like it just the way it is, we know that person is advertising their ignorance of a very basic law of life, because absolutely nothing stays the way it is.
So elaborating on what Bob just shared with us, if you're not going one way, you're going the other way. So if you're not progressing, you're degressing. But how do we progress? By number one was the law of thinking. Okay, your thought energy. Your thoughts have the power to create the formless into substance. That's two different words. Like formless substance, yeah. The formless substance. So it's invisible turning into the visible. Okay. So, and then what's great is that we have been able to apply this concept into our business, into MindsetUT Trade, and for the people who are trading and also expanding on their mindset. So it's so exciting to be able to, again, be here every Saturday with you guys, getting better and sharing this, at a higher level every single time. Because the more we do this, the better we get at it, the more it sticks, and the more we can share with you guys. So also jot this down too. Positive mental attitude, you guys, equals other people's energy. Because he's going to talk about that energy and attitude and how that is super important. So doing one thing every single day and building upon that one thing every single day so that you're creating time and money freedom for your life. Okay, versus what he was talking about right now, being in a comfort zone. And that's what's holding a lot of people back because they're settling for what's now versus what it can be for them. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and continue this for a few more minutes and share the 2 other laws with you guys and then wrap up this call, okay?
Now, if you look at the top of page 2, there is a concept there by Sidney Herbert Wood, and it's the test of an educated person. I think many of us have had a false concept programmed into our mind with respect to education. We, I think, have been raised to believe that education is going to school for a certain number of years and be able to correctly answer a series of questions. But many people will go to school all their life and be able to correctly answer the questions. But then when it comes to getting out into the marketplace and really making it happen, they just don't know how to compete.
Going back to what I said earlier and what Bob just shared, is the people that go to school like myself. I went to college and I got a few degrees, which was pointless for me because it actually was more of a hindrance to understand this information sooner than later. Now, granted, I'm glad that it fell in my lap and now I'm able to build on that, but it was definitely more challenging. Okay, and he just shared that too, because we were conditioned and programmed a certain way. So if somebody asks you something, you're responsive or you're reactive versus responsive. I've known that because my coaches showed me that within myself. There's times where I've caught myself. I'm still continuing to do that. That's where writing down your thoughts is super key, you guys. So if you don't write down your thoughts, I highly recommend you start with doing a 3-day cycle of monitoring your thoughts and whatever it is that you're thinking. That's something that my coach helped me out with, and I'm sharing that with you guys because that's really the only thing that got me started into helping myself stick this as into a pattern. Yeah, it may not happen overnight, but eventually over time it will happen if you continue to allow yourself to be in that space to master it.
Many are withdrawn.
I'm going to go ahead and continue to play this, you guys, right? Do that.
They don't even feel comfortable meeting or greeting a stranger. Well, Wood said the test of an educated person is, can I entertain a new idea? Now, I think you know, and I know, that if we're going to improve, we have to have a very open mind. I once heard that an open mind was being prepared to throw away some of our most cherished beliefs when a better idea comes along. Now, you'll find that the vast majority of people seems to back into the future, dragging all of their old experience with them. When they're confronted with a new idea, they ask, does it fit? If it doesn't, then they say it's wrong. Now,
why did he just say that? The reason why he shared that with us because we are afraid to believe that it's not for us, or we can't change, or that we're so conditioned to do things a certain way, again, that we're afraid to step out of that comfort zone because we don't know what's going to look like. That's where your faith and your understanding come in, because if you are at a high level of understanding, you can balance that motivation and education and apply that to your life. That's what Bob was talking about. So putting that into context and going into law number 2, which is the law of polarity. There's an inside and outside to everything. So your life has an inside and outside to everything, right? And 95% of successes comes from all mentors who are highly successful in this industry and high athletes, high performance athletes, and coaches. One coach in particular of mine and the mentors that have coached him. So 95% of success is spirituality, and that's number 2, the law of polarity. That's an inside job that happens with the way you think, the thoughts that you put out into your work, into your craft, into your home, into your business. You're getting an inside and outside effect from that. Okay, because whatever you're putting in on the inside, you're seeing manifest on the outside. That's how the law of polarity works. Okay, so changing your thoughts. So going back to what he's saying.
What we want to do is ask ourselves, would this new idea improve the quality of my life?
Going back to the thought. Would this idea improve my life? I know for myself and the people that are on this team and in MindsetUT, it has, and it continues to do so, because we have started with the thought last year of this great industry and this great opportunity for people to create their own economic policy for their life, and doing so by understanding their mindset and their finances all in one. It has been the most beautiful and rewarding journey ever, you guys. And now I'm excited because I've been excited, but I'm excited to share that with you guys, because now I'm understanding it more and more as I unlock my speech comfortably to share this with you guys, because I'm doing this myself, which is why I slowed myself down to pause it and share with you guys the 3 main laws that I've been focusing on from last week to this week, and how I've evolved on those laws. So I want you guys to do the same thing too. You don't have to have new things all the time. This call was literally the same thing that I said last week, but I know that there was places that I could improve in sharing with you guys. Okay, and so this is part of that. So going back to the thought, what he was saying, we're gonna go to that, and we're gonna go to law number 3. I'm gonna read I'm gonna read a little bit of the Science of Getting Rich, and I'll wrap it up for you guys.
Going in the other direction. Can I entertain a new idea? Today and tomorrow, you're going to be asked to entertain many new ideas, but every one of the ideas that we're going to share with you are going to be positive, they're going to be creative, they're going to be constructive, and they'll definitely improve the quality of your life. Then we see the second one, can I entertain another person? Now, there's many people that would feel totally uncomfortable walking up to a stranger and just saying, hi, how are you today? Pleased to meet you, Jen. Now, do you know some people, when it comes to meeting a person, their head is down, their hand is wet, they're shaking inside.
I'm going to pause it one more time, you guys, because going back to when I started this journey last year, and my coach said to me, if you don't go out there and talk to people, how are you ever going to talk to people at all? And I know that was one of the scariest things for me, because being in the industry that was completely different that prior to that, you know, my speech was tailored in a certain way, and to adopt this new way of speaking was difficult. And of course, being difficult when we were at our lowest lows, you know, making this happen. And just to bring that into context, you guys, anybody can do this from anywhere. Okay, if we can do it, if I can do it, you guys can do it, we all can do it. That's why we're all doing this together right now. So I'm going to go ahead and continue that. Write down law number 3, because this is going to go into law number 3, which is law of perpetual transmutation. Creating the invisible into the visible. What does that look like in your life? Like, what are you doing right now that you can shift in your life to get you further for your future, for tomorrow? Or is there like a business that you wanted to start that you never started? A book that you wanted to write that you haven't wrote yet, that's been in your mind and you've been thinking about it. It's been like talking at the left side of you, the right side of you, whatever. And you still haven't understood how and why you haven't started that goal or moved towards that goal. Okay? So let's go back into this a little bit, guys. A couple more minutes.
Their heart is pounding, and they only do it because they really have to. They would just as soon pull away from a new person. Now, that individual has not learned very much, if anything, about themselves, because we should feel totally comfortable meeting anyone, anywhere, at any time. And they ask, can I entertain myself? Well, you know, many people are not able to entertain themselves. I spent half my life not being able to entertain myself. I always had to be around someone else. It was always, come on, let's have a party. I absolutely hated being alone. And that was because I really didn't like myself. Now, I have found through studying the ideas that we're going to cover here over the next couple of days, we can develop into very interesting and reasoning companions. Most of the time that we live, we do spend with ourselves. And you're going to find that some of the very best conversations you ever have are going to be with yourself. I get so excited about some of mine, I talk right out loud. I draw, strange luck from people from time to time. But you get such great ideas going.
I'm going to stop it at that, you guys, because he's saying having a conversation with yourself. And my coach, Isaiah, and for the other people who are getting coached by Isaiah, has shared with me, I'm going to share with you guys, and has been helpful and continue to work on that, is simple questions to ask yourself. Just going back to the basics of who, what, when, where, and how, and why, right? So there's 6 questions that you can always ask yourself. Like, why is this happening? What do I need to do? And then your brain gives you the answer, because we are our biggest problem and we're also our biggest solution. So in order for us to understand us and get outside of ourselves, to understand more of the inside of ourselves, we have to raise questions and of awareness to ourselves as well, to have that conversation that we've never had before. That yes, may feel uncomfortable. Yeah, you may not like it at first. Yeah, you may feel stupid, but you're also going to feel very relieved at the fact that you allowed yourself to speak to you, because that's self-confidence and self-love and self-esteem come from cultivating you and your mindset. So I'm going to play a little bit of music, you guys, because I wanted to pause it at that for Bob Proctor. I'm going to read to you guys The Science of Getting Rich, just the page that I read before getting on here. I read it this morning, and I also came back to reflect on it to share with you guys what I got out of it as well. So, The Science of Getting Rich. The object of all life is development. Everything that lives, I'm going to play this too. Everything that lives So, let's see.
Delicious Dairy Gold Fit delivers 14 grams of protein and
Okay, so everything that lives has an inalienable right to all development. It is capable of attaining man's right to life, means his right to have the free and unrestricted use of all things which may be necessary to his fullest mental, spiritual, and physical unfoldment, or in other words, his right to be rich. So going back to what Bob's saying, think about this. Does anybody have thought freedom if somebody's always in your ear? Like if you're at work or around people that are not allowing you to grow, is that really going to add wealth to your thoughts and to your life? No, it's not. So there's people that you need to take out of your life, then you have to do that. Or love from a distance, if that makes sense. Okay, so that you can figure out you and understand what you need to do for your life. So for anybody who wants to also read The Science of Getting Rich for people on our team, we do have the PDF and Telegram. We do have also our Sunday month of the week game plan call for everybody who is trading and doing mindset. Don't forget that that's tomorrow at 8 p.m. Mountain Standard Time. I'm going to go ahead and wrap this up, you guys. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out to me. I appreciate every single one of you guys for being on this call. Again, we're not teaching you guys anything that we're not doing ourselves. So we did part 1 last month. This month we're doing part 2, but I started part 1 with you guys again, so that way you guys can have a basis to start. You were born rich personal development journey. Okay. So again, I appreciate every single one of you guys. Thank you for taking the time to be on here. We love you guys and have a great rest of your week. We'll see you on the call tomorrow.